never slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up.
Hey, what I want to talk to you guys about today is I know we have the holidays coming up, Thanksgiving and Christmas, and pardon my throat. I've been battling bronchitis, and I found out last night at the ER my bronchitis has turned into pneumonia, and the hospital almost kept me. Um, but yeah, the holidays for people, are a joyous time of year. But what about if you're an inmate in prison? Is the holidays still a joyous time? Because you're locked up. You don't get to spend time with your family on Thanksgiving or Christmas. And for a lot of inmates, that really depresses them, and they take the route of suicide because because they can't spend time with their family or their friends. Now, remember back in 2004, I was locked up around Thanksgiving, and there was this inmate. He was in a different pod than me. I was in pod 2, and he was in pod 6, and he was depressed because he couldn't spend Thanksgiving with his family because his grandma was dying, and naturally he did something stupid and got himself locked up. But he ended up hanging himself in his cell the day before Thanksgiving back in 2004, which locked the entire jail down. And we were locked down for maybe a couple of days until they figured out exactly, what happened, because they didn't know if he committed suicide or if it was an actual, it was an actual murder. But they ended up finding a suicide note laying on his desk, where he said that he felt so bad that he couldn't spend time with his family or his friends on Thanksgiving, and he did this horrendous crime, and he felt like that he let his mom and his dad down and his grandma down, and so and he just felt like that there was basically he couldn't see an out, and the only out he could see was ending his life. And this gentleman that took his own life the day before Thanksgiving in 2004 was 29 years old. Now, I say that to say this. We have a lot of inmates in our prison systems and our jail systems. And there's a lot of inmates who commit suicide in prison as well as in jail. But are they doing it out of self-pity because they don't get to spend time with their family or their friends on the holidays, or do they actually have a mental condition? Now, I'm on why the holidays are the most painful time of the year for prisoners. Every holiday season, prisoners suffer spikes in suicides, violence, and depression. Eddie Conway, who spent 44 years locked up, explains what the people on the outside can do to help. After spending the past year and a half socially distancing, millions around the country will be coming together to celebrate the holidays this year with a renewed participation for seeing and being with loved ones. For those who are locked away in prisons and jails, however, the dehumanizing separation from family, friends, and community will continue. Having spent 44 years as a political prisoner, TRNN executive producer Eddie Conway, who has an intimate knowledge of just how painful the holidays are for incarcerated people and why suicides, violence, and depression spike for prisoners this time of year. In the episode of Rattling the Bars, Conway and TRNN editor-in-chief Maximilian Alvarez have an open and emotional discussion about what it's like to be locked up during the holidays and about the importance of doing what we can to help prisoners maintain contact with the outside world. Okay, get past this opening jargon. Yes, and I've said it, and you've said it. Reach out in any kind of way you can. Send a card, a letter. If it's an email system, email, send money for the commissaries, send books. You can definitely send pictures. You have to go through some process, but try to reach out and make as many contacts as possible with your loved one. Encourage the family members to do the same thing. Every little bit helps. Every little bit lightens the burden of the massive depression that holiday seasons bring in the prison system. And will hopefully bring somebody home that's less damaged than the prison system intended to make them. Max, I will thank you for joining me. Hope Maximilian Alvarez, Eddie, it was a pleasure. Thank you so much for having me. Okay, thank you for joining the episode of Rattling the Bars. Now I will go up and read to you some of the excerpts of this. Okay, Max, you talked to me earlier about what it's like to be in prison during holidays. Are you still interested in that? Yes, yeah. I mean, it's something that's been on my mind a lot. I mean, obviously, rattling the bars every week, and we're truly honored to be putting it on every week. And you and Cameron, do such incredible work and covering the violence and victims of the prison industrial complex. And yes, it is a prison industrial complex. It really is, because a lot of inmates, you come into the prison, and you're on a level system. Level 1, you make $11 a month. Level 2, you make $15 a month, and level 3 is the same as level 2. You make $15 a month, and that goes for your commissary, um, for your food, your shampoo, your soap, and you can buy underwear on commissary here in the state of Kansas. Now, if you actually have a job, which you earn about 25 cents an hour, and if you're level two and level 3, you can actually buy sweats, a crock pot, a little mini cooler that you put ice in, and it's about like this big. And you can buy a TV, a radio, headphones, and that's if you have an actual job like through Aramark or or whoever working in the kitchen of the prison or the laundry or whatever. But if you get in trouble and say you have a TV already in your cell and you're level 2, if you get in trouble and you get your level taken, you go back to level 1, then your TV gets taken and you get it back once you get your level 2 status back, because you cannot own own anything electronic until you reach level 2, like the radio, the TV, anything like that. You cannot own it until you reach level 2. So basically, when you come in as level 1, you can buy the little cooler, to put ice in and stuff. Or if you want to make a prison gumbo in the cooler, you can do that too. But yeah, and you can get in trouble for like a lot of stuff in prison. Dangerous contraband, less dangerous contraband, taking without permission, basically is stealing. Violation of published orders. Basically, you can get in trouble for talking back you can get in trouble for talking back to a CO. Now, dangerous contraband can be anything from smuggling tobacco into the prison. If you get caught with something to make a shank, or like my dangerous contraband was my cellie at the time, which we didn't get along. He took one of his razors apart and laid the razor blade on the little shelf on my bed, and it was the same day that we both got our minimum custody. And when we were going to be moved to the minimum camp across the street, and they came in and shook our room down, and basically I got in trouble because because the razor blade was laying on my bunk. So so I basically took that hit, and I got wrote up. I got my minimum custody taken, which I had just got, so it bumped me back to medium, and I was stuck behind medium walls for another freaking 6 months, because they took 2 months of my good time because of the razor blade. And then I also got a less dangerous contraband, which I got caught with a cigarette. I got in trouble for a lot of stuff in prison, but I kind of wisened up after I had been there after I'd been there a couple of years. I started getting feel for things, and I've seen, I saw quite a few of my friends that were in prison commit suicide around the holidays. Um, because I was stationed out in Norton. Stationed. I was out in Norton for a year, which is about 10 minutes from the Nebraska border and 100 miles from Colorado. So I was like way up in northwestern Kansas, and this gentleman I knew, he he was from my area. He was from Hayesville, and he was so far away from his family that they didn't have enough money to come out and visit him or anything. So he got depressed, and this was like about 3 days before Thanksgiving. He took a razor blade and sliced his wrists in his cell, and his cellie woke up the next morning and found him. I hated the fact that his cellie had to find him like that, because the cellie had, right as he found him, had an instant nervous breakdown, and they transferred the cellie to Larned, which is a mental hospital prison here in the state of Kansas. But the holidays affect everyone differently, but it really affects the inmates hard, because they feel like they're locked away. They feel like no one cares about them, and there's a lot of inmates who are cared about, who are loved, but whose families probably don't have the money to go visit them or anything like that. And it just breaks my heart to see and to hear that that these inmates uh, feel like they have nothing to turn to, and they end up taking their lives around the holidays. And I know that's not what their family wants, but you know, in the prison, guys, prison is an industrial complex, because uh, I was reading it somewhere I believe it was in the Constitution or something, that states that the only place slavery exists now is in the prison system, and that's no lie, because uh, this state makes a lot of money off of people in prison, and you have no rights at all in prison, none. You are told when you can eat. You are told when you can get up. You are told when to go to bed, and you're told when to take a shower. Yeah, because you have no freedom at all in prison, none. Like morning chow, you're waking up, your cell is opened. Yeah, if you want to get up and go eat, you can. If you don't want to get up and go eat, you can lay right there in your cell. And like lunch, yeah, yeah, your cell door is open, and you can go out. You can go to lunch. Same with dinner. Your cell door is open. You can go out and you can go to lunch, or you can go to dinner. But yeah, you have no control. Um, if you get in trouble, Yeah, you have perks while you're in the prison system. It's called good time, and and you have levels: level one, level two, and level three. Level two, you can have a TV. Level one, you can't. Level two, you can have a TV, a radio, um, a crock pot, and same with level three. In level two, you can actually uh, buy your own sweats that have your DOC number down the side of them. That way, when you get out and you want to wear your sweats out, there's your DOC number down your leg, so people know exactly where you've been at. That's a mark and a stain for the rest of your life. Is your DOC number? Victim of the prison industrial complex week in and week out are obviously you yourself have a very intimate knowledge or just of just how brutal this prison industrial complex can be. And I don't know. Uh, I guess just there were moments over the past couple of years where I think for those of us who were kind enough socially distancing and even quarantining ourselves, that may have the first that may have been the first people really felt that sort of distance and isolation from their families. I know that personally. Over the summer, I saw videos that my family was sending of the family getting together in California, and I was looking at them, and I felt like I was sitting on the moon looking at pictures of something that was just so far away. That was that there was no way I could get back there, and I mean that's not even close. That's not even close to be the kind of isolation that prisoners feel on a day-to-day basis. And so I just wanted to make sure that we wrap up and really a really incredible year of work here at Real News as folks, and perhaps heading back to work to see friends and family after not being able to next year, that we all spare a thought of ours for the folks who are locked away right now and who are kind of living deep in the gut of an incredibly brutal prison system, completely separated from their loved ones and their communities. And I think it's important for all of us to think about uh, what that's like, to think about what we can do to bring some semi-balance of humanity back to those who have had it ripped away from them in the prison system. Hey, I will say this, guys. Thanksgiving is this Thursday. While we're all you know, out here celebrating Thanksgiving, and see in the prison system, they call what goes on out here the real world. Because they're locked up. They don't view what goes on in prison as the real world. And I've heard it so many times from so many friends of mine that I've been locked up with. Yeah, when it got like really close for them to be getting out of prison, all they could say was, "Man, I can't wait to get back out to the real world." And I would just look at them all. I'm like, well, we are in the real world, aren't we? And one of the guys says, no, this is not the real world. This is hell. We're in hell. The real world out there is heaven. The people here in prison, they're in hell. We can't, and he went on to say, we can't do anything for ourselves. We can't go to bed when we want. We can't take a piss without somebody looking over our shoulder. He goes, that's not the life I want to live. So, in retrospect, guys, when we all sit down this Thursday for our Thanksgiving dinner, we also got to think about the inmates, the prisoners, and the prisons, and this brutal industrial complex machine that's known as prison. How many of those men or women are contemplating taking their own life on that day? And I know it's a hard thing to think about. But it does need to be thought about. How many inmates or prisoners will be contemplating on Thanksgiving just ending it all because they can't spend the holidays with their family. Sorry for my voice, guys. I had a rough 7 days. Please like, comment, subscribe to my channel, hit that bell notification for any new uploads, and please think about what I said. When we sit down for our Thanksgiving dinner this Thursday, or whenever we do it, I'm doing mine Thursday. Just think about, I have all this. I have my family, I have my friends, I have my children around the table with me right now. What does that inmate or prisoner in prison have right now? And which one of them will make the ultimate sacrifice and take their own life that day? This is Robert with True Crime Podcast. I'm out. Peace.
Everything I do, so instinctive and so passionate. Every word I move, so descriptive like an adjective. I got a vendetta against people who patented being negative when you should be getting after it. I got facts over tracks, this and that. Spitting slow, spitting fast. I could roast, I could gas. Think I'm okay at last, but I don't know if that can erase all the past. And the pettiness, a reflection of the emptiness. Hilarious, you think you're